Okay, so we're back. This week, part 2, Get Your Funakoshi, Essence of Karate-Do. Last week we had a video that kind of interrupted the sequence and talked about situational awareness. Funny thing is, when I came back to this to go back to the section that I wanted to talk about next, that section is about situational awareness. Hey, what's up? I'm Ken, this is kenfuTV, and each week I release videos on the martial arts, technique, philosophy, training, that sort of thing. Every Monday, I do Ken Learns Kenfu, this part where I talk the philosophy side of things. In this case, we're talking books and some stuff that's happening, but I do a variety of different things when it comes to Ken Learns Kenfu. So that's every Monday. Be sure if you like videos like this to, well, like this one down below, drop a comment while you're down there, but be sure to subscribe if you are new here. If you're not, if you're a returning subscriber and you like what I'm doing enough to have subscribed to this channel, thank you. That's really freaking cool. And you guys are amazing. We're at almost 1,000 subscribers. That's crazy. Never thought, I just did this because I wanted to do it. And it's really exciting that you guys like what I'm doing. So if you do like what I'm doing, share it. Show some of these videos to people that you think might like it. And let's keep building a really cool community, talking about the martial arts in a way that's maybe a little different than your average martial arts video. But without further ado, let's talk about this book. Quick recap on this book. Make sure that you've watched part 1 if you want to see what we talked about last time. But this time, in this book of stories and philosophy and just general thoughts on karate itself from more of a personal, ethical, moral, spiritual, and all of that sort of thing kind of way, is the essence of karate. So today, we're reading this part here, page 68. Right after he talks about there's no first strike in karate, which we talked about last time, he says there's no first strike in karate. This is what I deem to be the essence of karate-do. In other words, respond to your opponent once he moves without initiating the action. He who is able to read circumstances in his mind before they transpire, to see the playing out of opposing forces yet to begin, as if with eyes behind one's head, is capable of knowing the path to certain victory. That's awesome. I think this is a critical thing. If you follow a moral path in the martial arts, the idea no first strike in karate. I've talked about it. I've got a video here talking about that sort of thing. And the underlying concept, the principle of that, you're not going to create problems. You're not going to go be the one to instigate for sure. And ideally, you're not the person who helps fan the flames, even if you weren't the one who started them. So in this case, what's he talking about? He's talking about the idea of being able to read circumstances in his mind before they transpire, to see the playing out of opposing forces yet to begin, to be able to watch and pay attention and see and understand human behavior, the situation itself, the environment, the things that are normal and the things that are starting to pick up. That's situational awareness. That's reading the person that you're working with and understanding whether or not this is going somewhere and giving you the opportunity to de-escalate if you should de-escalate, or leave if it's just an option to just leave. Now, he did not say in any way that if it's important and it needs to be done, that you can't mess somebody up if that's what needs to be done. It just says morally it's not the right thing to do unless you absolutely have to. And that you should not be finding that out halfway through. Instead, you should be paying attention to the situation and understanding how someone might be becoming emotional or volatile or whatever, and choose to either exit that situation or create a better situation before you ever get to the point where you've got to act. And then when you do act, and he talks about that too, is the idea that as soon as you need to act, you act directly and swiftly and without mercy. Bringing in the idea of preemption. And video here about the Cobra Kai motto, strike first, strike hard, no mercy, right? It's the idea of preemption. If it comes down to it and you got to do it, do it. Mean it. Don't hold back, because everything that would have been, if it was a situation that this shouldn't have happened or doesn't need to happen, then you just didn't do it. So if you've gotten to the point where you got to do it, then the criteria for holding back is gone. And so he's saying, pay attention, and you will have already won. If you're realizing the situation is getting bad and you are ahead of them in creating the situation, ideally preempting the situation. He says at the very beginning, respond to your opponent when he moves without initiating the action. Now, movement, I think that you've got to read into that. And there's a lot in this book that you've got to, the way that he says things show that he's very poetic, right? Get Your Funakoshi, founder of Shotokan, didn't even like calling it Shotokan. Shoto was his pen name for his poetry. So word imagery is a thing that he was into. And so you've got to read into some of the things that he says, because he's being maybe a little abstract, maybe a little indirect, but he's saying what he means to say, which is respond to your enemy when he moves. When he moves does not mean physical action. I believe that when he says once he moves, he means once this is happening. Once you've determined that this is what's going to happen, respond. But you were not the one to initiate. You were not the one that created this situation. Okay. He goes on to say, the blade of a sword that only slices through the air may be duller than lead, but a poised and ready iron fist contains power great enough to kill. He who initiates the action invites his own opportunity for death. When hunting an eagle, only the scoundrel shoots before it has taken wing. The man who acts first, even if he presents himself as a sage, behaves in the manner of one who is ignorant of human folly and is incapable of seeing with the eyes of the heart. Only those who follow the proper path at all times are able to gain a command of movement that transcends established methods and grasp a true understanding of techniques. He's telling you right there, poised and ready with an iron fist contains power great enough to kill. He was not afraid of acting if it needed to be done. He believed that this is where you go. If this needs to happen, and you need to do it. But he also says, he who initiates the action invites his own opportunity for death. Meaning, things can go sideways, things can go bad, things can go wrong. And just because you felt that you should start this situation does not mean that you're going to come out on the other side all sunshine and roses, feeling great, and everything was fine. You create a bad situation, and you may be the one to take the bad outcome, right? Those repercussions exist. Every action has a reaction, and not every situation is positive for you just because you started the situation. So don't start the situation. Realize, what did he mean? The man who acts first, even if he presents himself as a sage, behaves in the manner of one who is ignorant of human folly. Ignorant of human folly. Meaning someone who goes and does this is not paying attention and being compassionate to the fact that sometimes we all mess up. Sometimes we do stupid stuff. Sometimes we're emotional, and sometimes we react to things. Look at it right now. Right now, in the time of this video, there are protests and riots and looting and all kinds of things. Protests, I believe strongly, and I think that people should have a voice when they have something that's important to them. People that are taking these opportunities to go and turn them into riots and follow a purely emotional thing into violence and other situations, that's dangerous, and I don't agree with that. I don't believe that that is a good situation. I certainly don't believe that it leads to a good outcome. And more often than not, if you are motivated by something political or whatever it is that you feel passionate about, when it leads to rioting and that sort of thing, I typically question whether or not it's actually going to end in the thing that you want to see happen. There are many ways to approach something that you want to see change in. Violence doesn't usually get you there. It might bring attention to it, but it's not usually going to bring the result that you're looking for, at least not immediately. So you don't know where that'll go. And if you don't know where that'll go, then maybe it's not the best strategy. I play Go. I really like that game. I believe that it's a really, really great game for strategy. And when you're playing, when you place a stone, and you can place a stone on any place on the board, when you play that stone, the space right next to it might have been superior. One movement, one space away could have a ramification 10, 20, 30 moves from now that you won't see come to fruition until later. So you have to have the forethought of seeing, where's this going to go? And if it goes that way, will it get me where I want? And if this other thing goes the way that it would, is it less effective, or is it actually more effective and more likely to lead to a successful outcome? And I've got to consider that and make good choices. And the better the choice I can make, the more thought I put into the direction that I go and the tactic that I take and the way that I interact with people. Reading Verbal Judo right now, by the way. Really great book. Not this book. Talking about that later. Both linked below. But all about interacting with people. All of those things lead to the result. And the more in harmony those things are towards the goal of peace or resolve or evolution towards growth in a way that's positive for the community and for people and for whatever it is that you're trying to do, the more those are in harmony, the more likely they'll succeed. The less resistance, the more you will pull in the things around you to help you get there rather than resist them. Something that resists every way. Water moving uphill is not going to have an easy time, right? Water moving downhill, pulling things into it. We see rivers and streams as they go over time and they become something because they've pulled and moved and made this with time and direction and continuous focus. So be like that. I'm not trying to quote Bruce Lee, be like water, but I kind of just did. The idea is that I need to be able to move a direction that makes sense. I need to have the things that are in my way be interested in going the way that I'm going. And then we all get there and the success happens. Okay, it's not always easy, and I don't think that it is, and I'm not trying to make light of the effort that it takes to do it. Instead, what I'm just trying to say is that there are a lot of ways to go about accomplishing something. But in any given set of ways, there are always ways better than others. And I think when he's looking at this and saying, he who's able to read circumstances in his mind before they transpire, to see the playing out of opposing forces yet to begin, as if with eyes behind one's head, is capable of knowing the path to certain victory. He who takes the time and focuses and pays attention to all of the pieces and takes the energy that it takes to understand and spend time thinking about all the pieces, including the other person's side, knows the path to victory. So that's it. That's it for today. Big words. I really, really believe in this idea. Maybe that's why I love karate as much as I do, is because of this ideal, this intent to not oppose things, but instead to bring them in harmony with you, to realize that we're on this planet together and we don't have to fight each other. It's an option. We can take it. It's not required. And life tends to be more positive when we can find ways to not fight with each other. And karate has an ability to help create that skill set in people. I think it's huge. I think it's powerful. And I think that it has restorative power and healing power for people who struggle with different kinds of things. If you're reading this book, drop it in the comments. Tell me what your favorite part is. If you've got thoughts on what I just had to say, hit the same thing. Do that comments. While you're down there, if you like this video, make sure to like it. If you didn't, hit that dislike. But drop a comment and tell me what you didn't like. And let's talk about that too. You know, but the truth is, you should have your voice, you should have your thing, and even if it just comes to a like and a dislike button, so be it. Be you. Make your choices. And don't be afraid to follow through with those things. Don't be afraid to let people know how you feel. Just know that it can go however it goes, right? Just like this. It sounded awfully ominous. It sounds like I'm gonna come after you if you hit the dislike button. Don't hit the dislike button. No. But hit that like button, hopefully. I like that like button. And YouTube likes that like button too, so then it makes YouTube want to show people this video. So if you like this, hit it. And truly, let's just take a second. Let's just be completely off base. That's the way YouTube works, right? If you share things that you like, if you like those things, if you put them into playlists, if you do that sort of thing, if you watch the whole thing through, YouTube's paying attention to every piece of that. So when you do like a video, does not have to be my video. If you like a video, if somebody's creating a video that you believe in, make sure to like it. Make sure to share it. Make sure to toss it in a playlist if you think about it. Comment on it. All of those things are the things that help YouTube choose when it ends up on somebody's front page or a recommended list for somebody, that sort of thing. Honestly, making YouTube videos has made me change my opinion about doing that stuff. I tended to not be a person who would do it. I'd watch it, I'd take the information, I'd be on to the next thing. That just was the kind of person that I am. Now I definitely like videos and share them and comment on them because I understand the value of if I actually did appreciate that video and I want people to see it, that's only going to happen if I actually act on that. So anyway, completely random aside, ended up adding a couple more minutes to this video. Sorry about that, but go interact, help the things that you want to see happen in this world happen in the best way that you can. Even if it's just pushing a like button on some things or hitting the share button sometimes, or going out and being a part of a protest or a vigil or any of those things, go do it. Be a part of it. Make your voice heard. Be passionate about things that are important to you. Live a good life. Make it what you want to see. Subscribe if you like the things that I'm doing. Watch this video if you want another one kind of like it. And then maybe here's a few more that you might like too. That's it for now. Catch you in the next one.